Hi, I'm Remy, and I think it's high time to talk about the 72,000-ton elephant in the room. The absolute monster of a benchmark for TDX's strongest towers, the Warship. Its presence remained unchallenged for quite some time, a tower so strong it was determined to be way ahead of its time. That was until the Endless update. On that day, 4 bosses proved that even a god can bleed, and it didn't stop there. Event after event, more and more enemies became aware of the overbearing presence the Warship held across the sea. Which brings us to the modern day, where seemingly anything as small as a light sneeze can blow it away. And it didn't stop with just Warship. The attack helo was also under constant pressure, introducing various enemies designed with the sole intent to shoot down anything in the sky. It was as if every street level goon possessed enough kryptonite to severely injure Superman. But is that necessarily a bad thing? Well, from the perspective I just painted for you, yeah, that's horrible. Why would the heroes we look up to for safety being absolutely destroyed possibly be a good thing? In short, it isn't. However, from a gameplay perspective, I don't think super strong powerful towers having flaws/drawbacks is necessarily a bad thing. The most straightforward justification is simply that it evens the playing field. Sure, it is awesome to see people do what they do best. I mean, the satisfaction of watching perfection in action is so satisfying. But a feeling that rivals that emotion, and even arguably surpasses it, is ironically the opposite. Seeing something or someone giving it their all just for a chance at success keeps us at the edge of our seats, that the battle can go either way, and we are generally hyped to see who comes out on top. Whoever or whatever ends up winning feels so rewarding because of how much effort was put on screen. So while my Warship can no longer give me that easy win by simply placing it down and kicking my feet up, it reminds me that there's more to just winning. Hell, that makes me think we were so spoiled. Ignore resistances, power-ups, documented strategies, the goddamn drop pods. We have been so babied over the years. Everything seems so easy now. Have we lost sight of what made the game interesting? Placing down a Warship essentially took care of 80% of your problems. Of course, it had restrictions like being bound to a handful of maps, lacking hidden detection occasionally, explosive damage type. But even then, the effort to maximize its full potential was still so incredibly low that those restrictions didn't even matter. So what TDX decides to do next is incredibly smart, but is also very dangerous. They start adding in a bunch of enemies that can now harm or even destroy warships. Whoa. Did I say a bunch? Because I only count 1. 2 of you are really unlucky. Well, technically 3 if you go out of your way to do so, whatever the case may be. Warship has now ended up on the chopping block. Isn't that concerning? While it may seem jarring that more enemies are now able to drain your $300,000 boat with a 5-digit health bar. A 5-digit health bar? Wait. You're telling me that a boat with a 5-digit health bar, that is, mind you, already sitting miles away from anything that can harm, stun, debug, even look at its general direction, has a 5-digit health bar? If it were up to me, with basically being invulnerable to anything for the majority of your match time, what I would have did is make that tower a glass cannon. Oh wait, that's basically what the Warship already is anyways. At the end of the day, in conclusion, Warship has been a looming, unbothered queen of a threat, and enemies have been able to dispatch it with relative ease, only go on to even the playing field. The biggest reason why we thought this wasn't okay was that we've been spoiled. We are so used to everything being as simple as placing this tower down and calling it a day. And it's not like this balancing method is super unorthodox either. With the amount of pros the Warship has by simply existing out of bounds, granting it immunity from everything until boss waves, it being a glass cannon actually makes sense. That's not even mentioning the grand singular wave where the Eradicator can finally deal with that pesky thorn on its side. Even putting that into consideration, TDX is still being super lenient with how we can use this absolute beast. So no, I do not believe that seeing an expensive op boat slowly sinking to the ocean because of that bird that I hate is necessarily a bad thing. But attack helo? It seems like everything is out to get bro. But watch this.